What's up, Mother Foxers? Welcome back to the channel. How you doing, guys? Guess what? They put a 3G alternator, which looks like it's from an SN95, on here, and do you see it? Do you see what the problem is? Right there. That is not hooked up properly, I don't think. So this is supposed to be up here, and I don't know if that's the issue or what, but we'll find out. Alright, current state of affairs. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? I got a 75 amp, a brand new one somebody gave me years ago. That's what we're putting on here, because the other one, we're down here where the screw's at, the bolt, between here and here was too short, so this wouldn't go in there. So I don't know if that's the way SN95s, because it's a 130 amp alternator. I don't know if that's the way the SN95s are made, or if it came off like a Taurus or something else, but yeah, I'm going back to just this one because this doesn't have an electric fan or a radio in it, so I'm not too concerned about that right now. But that's where the problems began, because in order to hook this back up, I gotta hook up the power, the 3-prong power plug back to it. And you know, when you go to a 3G, you just hook the wires all into one thing. So as I was peeling back the tape, and there's the pile of tape and loom, we discovered the most atrocious wiring I think I've ever seen in my life. So here is, I don't know what this green wire's for, I really don't, but it does go to a plug. I'll figure it out. But here is a piece of green wire going to the alternator with a splice that's probably 2 inches with a household screw connector. Then it goes from that 16 gauge wire to 10 gauge wire, which is about what, 8 inches? Then it's spliced into another 16 gauge wire. All this stuff was just black tape, and then it goes to the regulator plug. And I have never seen anybody wire something up wire like this. Look at this. They like, well, actually no, look at this, there's 3 wires hooked to this. That's ridiculous. Look at this. I don't even know what to say. I just don't get it, man. And here's another one, spliced 3 times. Just buy a long piece of wire if you're going to do something. And another 2 more household wire screws. Now, let's go inside the car. I don't exactly know how tacks are hooked up, so I was going to chase the wires and see where they're at so I could clean things up. And that's where I ran into this, guys. Look at this. Tin foil. I think it's a gum wrapper, actually. There are actual things you can buy. It's called Add a Circuit. That works better than this shit. So I had this wire, which is, looks like it's going to this, and it was just stuck up in the dash going to nowhere. So I can pull that one out. That's good news. Had this yellow wire. Still haven't figured out what that one is. It's coming from the ECM or toward that way. So I think it was hooked up to this white wire. So I got to figure out what that is. Here's the tack power. I get that. Here's the green wire. I got to figure out where that's going. There's a wire hooked up to the accelerator. I don't know if that's for like Night Rider Turbo Boost or something. And then there's this toggle switch. I guess they had nitrous on this car, and is hooked up to this radio DIN bezel. Chase the wires out through the hood. And again, spliced wire. Spliced wire. And this is going to the positive terminal of the battery. So I don't need that. And then I chased the black wire that was coming in there from there. And this was just taped up inside somewhere because. And here is this wire I'm trying to figure out right now where it's going. And it's got 3 splices on it as well. Again, I've never seen wiring like this in all the cars I've had. So I just wanted to put a 75 amp alternator back on the car, and now I'm doing a whole wiring job. So, but I did find out that this car does have a mini starter on it, so that's pretty cool. And they got this cool, you know, wire just going down there into a rat's nest on the bottom there. We're gonna have to fix that too. So I was pretty discouraged with all those wires until I found out that they were really going nowhere, so I could just yank them out of there. All right, another update. Lots of wire came out of that car. Let's take a look. So there's the pile of goodies I got so far out of there. And here's some more. And look at this. You guys know what this is, right? Honk, honk. It's a horn button. But instead of being a horn button, this was attached to the back side of the accelerator pedal at the bottom. And the rest of it was hooked to the arming switch, which I think they used that to slam the gas to get the nitrous to go. But guess what? It goes to the pile of shit. Alright, there's how you do it, guys. Solder them up with one length of wire. I got these power wires I made with red just because they're power wires. Well, after a long day in several auto parts stores, there it is. Everything's put back together, new, about ready to bleed this power steering pump, and I got all the, there's the alternator we looked at it. I'm glad this car found us. This poor car. We're gonna do it right. Will you get out of my shot? You little booger. You get down to her level, she wants to get in your face. Alright, camera hog. There's a difference in height on the spring we just pulled off there. It looks like roughly a coil, but the bad part, and I don't know why or how or if you need to, but it's like they welded that perch or something on that, and that was what was up at the top of this. Right, we had to replace the ball joints because the nut, the castle nut that was on here, was basically just like that. This is the new one, but the other one was just like that. No cotter pin or anything in it, so that was a big problem. And then we had a fiasco trying to get that in there, but we got it in. And these new ones are lock nuts. They don't have no cotter pins to them. These are 94 Mustang ball joints because I found out that if you have SN95 spindles on, you're supposed to have either a spacer or 94 Mustang ball joints. They had neither, so that was a big problem. So now to the other side, and now to this side, we got other issues. There's the ball joint. It fell out. It literally fell out. I mean, you can push this right up in there. That's a problem. So we're gonna get the other A-arm from the other K member onto this one, so we don't have that issue. I have no idea what the hell this is, guys. Look at this. There's like some kind of threaded piping on top of this. Just asinine stuff, man. Let's review about that old girl right there. Okay, after we fixed the wiring, we looked down and saw there was some questionable stuff going on with the ball joints. So we're like, okay, I went and bought ball joints, repressed one in the driver's side, went to the passenger side, and guess what? It fell out. That's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be pressed in. So, radius arm was bad. So then we went and retrieved the one off Black Sunshine's K-member, and I bought bushings. Bought good bushings, went across the street to the neighbors, and of course the radius arm, A-arm, whatever you want to call it, is too shallow for his press. So we did all sorts of weird shit to get those pressed in, but we did it. So then we want to put the stock springs into the car, and we need a spring depressor. Just so you know, the 2 spring depressors they have at Harbor Freight won't work. They won't work. So save your money. I took them back. So our neighbor gave us this Hooven one that you saw, and it was actually on the car. Yes, guys, we took it out. We took everything all apart again. The spring came out. It just wasn't going to work. And the thing is, because there's a bearing that goes in with a big bolt that goes on that big shaft screw. And I told my dad, I put that bearing right on the hole of the radius arm, and it wasn't going through. I said it's too big. Well, he went a couple days later and put it on and depressed the spring, and then realized the crescent wrench he had was too big. Went and bought an 1.5-inch wrench to use to get it in there, and it worked. And then he realized, oh crap, I can't get that bearing out. I said, you told me we were going to pull it out of the coil spring. We're going to pull it out of the spring because you can get it out of the coil. He said, no. I said, I told you that hole was too small. He said, you did? So that's why we took it out. So that one don't work. So what we're trying to avoid was getting the one from AutoZone or O'Reilly's, because we did use those ones before on stock springs on Black Cherry Bomb. The problem was they are a pain in the ass to get out of the spring, because they got to go inside the spring. They work, but they're a pain in the ass to get out of the spring. Okay, and we did that twice and almost didn't get it out of there. I don't know what we did, but we got them out. It sucks. So I'd had enough at that point when we couldn't get the stock springs in, and I said screw it, and this is what I got. A brand new set of Steeda lowering springs. Yep, said screw it. So we got these. The front ones are going to go on. The back ones I'm not so worried about right now. So yeah. And I know you can cut the springs and all that rigmarole, but honestly, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that. And I would rather have a quality spring that is made to lower the car than one that's cut. Alright guys, we got the Steeda lowering springs in this thing. It's all buttoned up. No spring compressors or anything like that, so... And all we gotta do is put the wheels on this and we can take her for a ride. So this 2-3 week ordeal is now coming to a close, and it is done and done right with new 9495 ball joints on 9495 spindles. Alright guys, and of course the engine is out of this car now. This was just a review on what I have done since I got the car. This was the 2 major things. There's going to be more in the future on this car, don't worry, and a review of what I've done since these 2 things. So thanks for watching, guys. Later.